Thank you all for listening, ladies and gents. Just wanted to say happy Easter Sunday, the 4th of April. It is almost 1 p.m. Just wanted to let you know I'm the capital P. I'm the capital P in progressive. I'm the capital P in. I'm the capital P in punctuation. I'm the capital P in persuasive. I'm capital P in propaganda. I am the prodigious, the prominent professor at Proclamation News and Gatherance. I'm part of the aristocracy social elite. Absolute populism on YouTube, populism on Uplive, populism on Castbox. Make sure you tune in. I wanted my voice to be heard when I first started Castbox, when I first started YouTube. Haven't got the biggest following on YouTube. It's not everyone's cup of tea, politics. It's not everyone's cup of tea. Maybe me, my perspective, maybe my analytic skills, maybe my politics evaluation. But I know I am a force to be recognised because I've got integrity. I'm a walking, talking human faculty. Everything I say for the first 10 minutes is all my own wisdom, my own knowledge, my own legacy. That's why people come in and they listen, they take it on board. I'm a political analyst. I'm a critical thinker. Anyway, proclamation. This is why I'm getting sponsored. This is why people getting people supporting the show. Gifts off, artwork, canvases for me to do. I'm sponsored. I'm not getting paid for my works, but they're putting the word and mouth out to people in the constituent network. We're sponsored by PSS Alarms. Very ethical and pragmatic works carried out. All areas covered, including central station monitoring provided. All work done according to insurance requirements. This is a friend of mine's company. He's carried out works in Harry Kane's stepmother's house in Hertfordshire, Potter's Bar. He carries out etiquette works in Essex, such as Casabah Restaurant, and many more big businesses. Please could you call Tariq Khan? 07908 07908 216 142. It's an English dial code to +44 instead of 0. 07908 216 142. Installation and maintenance of intruder alarms, fire alarms, CCTV. All work guaranteed and certified to SSARB standards. 24-hour call-out service. Can provide CCTV for pubs, clubs, restaurants, or new business setup. Secure your business. Mention Professor Johnson for extra discount. Secure your home. Secure your business. Your safety and priorities within your business are paramount, so think safety, think first. Secure your equity. Secure your whole family's equity, even your children's equity. It's very important, isn't it? Absolutely, just because their safety and their belongings is paramount also. Thank you everyone for tuning in on Castbox. Make sure you hit that follow button and get involved. Hello, Define Beauty. She is live on my YouTube. Nice to see you, girl. I did send you the Castbox link as well, but it's nice to see you on YouTube as well. If you want to comment when you hear something that's could be affecting your community, your family, maybe someone that works in the same business sector that I'm talking about at the time, please feel free to comment. I'll keep coming back checking the comments because when you're live on YouTube you don't get to see everything. Please, everyone listening, please share and subscribe. It's nice to see 3 listeners on YouTube at once. I usually end up about 30 listeners by the end of the show because I share on Facebook. Appreciate you coming through. I hope you can get some takeaway points from the way I, keep myself etiquette and pragmatic. Etiquette with style, pragmatic with sense. Professional with style, and pragmatic with sense. Anyway, minimum workers. Anyone think about going back to work? Minimum wage rises. About 2 million of UK lowest paid workers will get a pay rise on Thursday at the minimum wage, which goes up. The national living wage will rise 2.2% to £8.91, the equivalent of more than £345 a year for the first time employee. £8.91, that's not a great significant, that's not a significant amount of money, is it really, for pay rise? It will also be given to 23 and 24-year-olds for the first time, not just those aged 25 and over. Statutory rates for apprentices and those aged between 18 and 22 will also rise, along with voluntary real living wage. However, hundreds of thousands of low-paid workers on furlough will see no uplift at all after they were excluded. Ministers said the increase to minimum wages would particularly benefit workers in sectors such as retail, hospitality, cleaning and maintenance. Prime Minister Boris Johnson said it would be a welcome boost to families right across the UK. Business Secretary Kwasi Kwarteng urged all workers to check their pay packets to ensure they were getting what they're entitled to, and remind employees of their duty to pay the correct wage. At the end of this class, I want to find out people's perspective on what they think deadbeat fathers are. I'm not on 3D, but it's my living room. I can see that the skyscraping buildings at the back of my house. I'm sitting in central London, third story flat. I'm joking. No, it's just it gives you that professional look as I subscribe the news. Minimum wage increases from the 1st of April from £8.72 to £8.91 an hour for workers over 23. From £8.20 to £8.36 for those aged 21 to 22. From £6.45 to £6.56 for 18 to 20-year-olds. I'll give you under 18-year-olds is from £4.15 to £4.65 for under 18s. The voluntary real living wage will rise to £10.85 an hour in London and £9.50 outside the capital. But only a small majority of employers have signed up to pay it. The foundation promoting it warned there was still a substantial gap between the statutory rates and one based on the actual cost of living. The furloughed missed out. Much of UK's retail and hospitality industries remain closed because of COVID, meaning many of the lowest paid workers are on furlough and miss out on a pay rise. They will continue to get 80% of their usual income based on pre-pandemic rates for the minimum wage. About 800,000 of the lowest paid workers were on furlough in February, according to the House of Commons Library. The government said furloughed workers who returned to work after the 1st of April would move on to new minimum wage rates for hours worked. But Shadow Chancellor Annalise Dodds hit out at the pay freeze for furloughed workers. Hitting Britain's families in their pockets isn't just wrong, it's economically illiterate. If families have less money to spend, then businesses will suffer. The recovery will take longer, she said. Francis O'Grady, General Secretary of the Trade Union Congress, also said nobody should be expected to get by less than the minimum wage. Low paid workers on furlough have bills to pay like everyone else, he said. The government should guarantee that everybody will get at least the full rate of minimum wage, and it should give all minimum wage workers a decent pay rise. Wiped out. Mike Hawkin, the Joseph Rowntree Foundation, described the boost to minimum wage as necessary, but said that the pandemic had revealed the urgency of taking further steps to tackle in-work poverty. Hello there, Aidan. Happy Easter, my friend. I'll have you on the show shortly, buddy. We've got a great debate about what the people perspective of a deadbeat father. As we start to recover from the impact of last year, 2 million workers are finding that minimum wage increase are being wiped out due to the inadequate social security, insufficient hours available to them, and high housing costs. Brian Sanderson, chairman of Low Pay Commission, which recommends the level at which minimum wage should be set, said, "This week's increase is our first step towards the government's target of 2/3 of median earnings. It's a real terms increase, meaning that hours work can buy more than it can last year at the start of the pandemic. The level of the new rate, however, also reflects the need to protect workers from job losses. The Commission said its best estimate for living wage rate in 2022 was £9.42, but this is subject to more uncertainty than usual and is likely to change." You can go on to the next segment. Thank you all for listening. Peace and love to you, buddy, as well, Paul. Thank you, everyone, for coming through, supporting the show. We're going to have a great show, a great conversation, a great nitty research with the audience. What's their perspective on a deadbeat father? Because no one really knows the mental health or the suffering that the father is going through. But I like to hear everyone's opinion. You never know how far your father has fought for their children. I might sit here when I'm 80. I've known I've gone through every court process, every family proceeding there is possible to fight for my children, but I keep getting knocked back. What is that reason? We have no answer to it. My kids might sit there in 3 more years' time and say, "My dad was a deadbeat," but really, they can also think, if they did think, my dad wasn't a deadbeat because he put his own apparently brain-damaged head on the line to try and support us children. I don't think they will be told that, but I know the truth, and so does everyone else, which I was on telly, I believe, at one stage in my boxing career. So the whole world knows that I wasn't a deadbeat. But I'd like to know everyone's perspective. I'm not the only one in these shoes. It's nice to put myself in the light of others, which could be facing the same consequences. Michelle Obama, schoolgirls receive video call from former First Lady. Former US First Lady Michelle Obama has reconnected with a group of London schoolgirls she met 10 years ago. Miss Obama spent an hour speaking by video call to pupils from Elizabeth Gareth Anderson, EGA, school in Islington, and Mulberry School for Girls in Tower Hamlets on Wednesday. She visited schools between 2009 and 2015 during her time at First Lady. Miss Obama told them, "Conversations like these keep me optimistic. Meeting all of you, watching your growth. You all give me hope. No matter how high you get, or how smart you are, or how successful life will throw you things that you're not necessarily prepared for. And if you know how to get yourself through it, you will succeed." The BBC One show will air a film about a meeting from 19 BST on Thursday. I mean, I'll just explain to you. I mean, if everyone has life's hurdles thrown at them. If you let them life's hurdles tackle you and take you to the ground, you're not going to come out through the end being prosperous when only prosperity matters. That's why I say, inspire, do not expire. It's important, isn't it? Don't let these things in life bring you down. You'll keep being positive, thinking, "I can do this. Doesn't matter what comes my way, I can come through the other side." She first visited EGA school in 2019 and in 2011. She took a group of pupils to Oxford University when she gave a talk to Christchurch College. Miss Obama first visited Mulberry School for Girls in 2015 to launch her Let Girls Learn campaign. Later that year, she welcomed pupils from the school to the White House. The lawyer and the author, 57, connected with girls to mark the launch of paperback and younger reader editions of her 2018 autobiography, Becoming. Sinesia, 12, called Miss Obama a very inspirational woman. The Mulberry School student said, "It's a really great opportunity for me and the whole school. Newsraf Hazan, 23, and the Lumini student at the same school added, "I'm so excited for people like Sinisia because Miss Obama has had such a fundamental impact and difference on my life." Sarah Beagley, teacher at EGA school, said, "Since 2009, she stayed true to her word, continuing to connect with us in multiple ways and remains a truly inspirational figure for generations of EGA students. We are proud and delighted that she values her relationship with us as much as we do with her." A video of full conversation will be available on the BTI plan. Miss Obama is a powerful, independent black female. Thank you all, you guys, for coming in. We're getting through the segment. We're going to have our conversation on Canewdon crash. 14 arrested after crash into ditch leaves woman, 18, fighting for her life. A fourth teenager has been arrested following a serious collision in Canewdon yesterday morning, Saturday, April the 3rd. I always say think safety, think first. I'm going to say it because I don't want to move on till we all acknowledge think safety, think first. Do not enter your vehicle under sleep deprivation, under the influence of alcohol and narcotics. Checking your engine and water coolant tank and make sure they are topped up to maximum level before takeoff. Making sure you got sufficient fuel to destination. Making sure you and your passengers have seatbelts adjacent to your car seat, and babies have their car seat and adapters adjacent to the car seat before takeoff. Making sure you got maximum PSI limits. Making sure your tyres are not bald. Checking for police safety actions. Police speed cameras. Just drive sensible when you hit the road. When you turn or overtake, make sure you check your wind mirrors for both pedestrians, cars overtaking, or motorcyclists. There's so many little things you'll be looking out for that you need to do. Do not, especially lorry drivers, do not drive. I mean, they have tacho brakes anyway, but do not drive under sleep deprivation. At around 1:50 a.m., a black Ford Fiesta left the road on Creeksea Ferry Road near the village of Canewdon, Essex, not far from Watford. Emergency services found the car in a ditch and took 4 teenagers to hospital. One of the 4, an 18-year-old woman, remains in hospital in a life-threatening condition, while the other 3, all aged 17, were treated for minor injuries and arrested on suspicion of causing serious injury or dangerous driving. They've since been released under investigation. However, for much of yesterday, officers were searching for a 5th person who left the scene. Now, Essex police have confirmed that they have found made on sea shortly up before 4 p.m. yesterday. Serious injury of dangerous driving, failing to stop at the scene of collision, failing to report a collision, and driving otherwise than in accordance with a licence, and has now been released under investigation. Officers are continuing to appeal for anyone who saw anything or has dashcam or CCTV footage to come forward. If you have any information which may help investigating officers, please call 101. Quoting incident 85. This was of the 3rd of April. You can alternatively contact Crime Stoppers anonymously on 0800 555 111. So, this is in Essex constituency. In Canewdon, I don't know how you pronounce it. Canewdon. There you go, Canewdon, I believe. World War II hero life running through air raids celebrates 100th birthday with great-great-grandnephew. Kitty Taylor was able to meet the newest member of the family after spending Kitty reading a letter from the Queen after turning 100. A World War II veteran who fixed Spitfires and raised Babbage balloons during the Blitz has been able to meet the newest member of her family for the first time while celebrating her 100th birthday. Kitty Taylor was a member of the Women's Auxiliary Air Force during the Second World War. Born and raised in West London, she was 19 years old when war broke out. She joined the WAAF when it was formed and was assigned to raise barrage balloons over the Borough High Street to stop the advance of German bombers during technical skills, and was sent to Oxford to help 6 Spitfire and Mosquito aircraft for the rest of the war. Phenomenal, isn't it? Phenomenal achievement. Kitty's adventures didn't stop after the war, as she went on to travel all over the world before moving to Sybil, Hedingham, with her husband William after her retirement. Now 100, Kitty lives in St Mary's Court Care Home in Braintree, Essex. Having spent a year living under restrictions due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Kitty was able to get an extra special birthday present, meeting her 7-month-old great-great-grandnephew, Rupert Marshall, through a COVID-secure screen. Kitty was also able to hold hands with one of her nephews and reminisce with her 2 nephews about her younger years. Her nephew, Craig Donald, said, My auntie's an amazing woman who has seen so much over 100 years. Although she has developed dementia, she remembers much about World War II and the vital role she played. She remembers vividly running across London Bridge during an air raid as flak rained down over the city. During the day, she'd be on a shop on the rooftop spotting for planes. She's an incredible, brave woman. She always has been a little annoyed that women of the WAAF served her country. The CEO of Sonic Care Homes, Julia Clinton, said they were blessed to have Kitty living in the home. Current social distancing rules allow Kitty to hold hands with Craig and see his brother Keir and the son of their niece through a COVID-secure screen, which made her very excited, she said. She was also over the moon to receive a letter from the Queen. We are blessed to have Kitty as a pair and at 6 years old with those close to her. I mean, I was quite proud of saying, a bit about Kitty's biography because it's important. My granddad was also in the World War II. I have high aspirations, in my family. My granddad was a Grenadier Guard and he's also an amphibious driver in the World War II. My cousin Jonathan was a Grenadier Guard also. So, when it comes to the intellect and supporting World War II veterans, it's very important and close to home. I don't know if any of you listening, you maybe got, great granddads, great nans involved in the World War II or around in that era. Might not be here with us today, but it's nice to talk about the history, isn't it? I mean, history is, is my second name. When you talk about history, I'm your man. Oh, I've got my man Aidan here as well. It's quite, when it comes to World War, he was in Hatfield. So, he took me around Hatfield, showed me a few World War II bunkers. As you know, Queen Elizabeth I was also in Hatfield House. So, when they talk about the Queen, the monarch, everyone thinks Buckinghamshire Palace. People don't look further than they know sometimes. Obviously, I'm studying arts and humanities. I knew Hatfield House. Well, I was living in Hatfield, so I knew Hatfield House had a few monarchs there. Queen Elizabeth third, and Queen Elizabeth II still alive, but Queen Elizabeth I. We had I'm trying to think of the name of that war. It's just the War with Spain. The war with Spain, I can't remember the name of it. That was in my study. But we had 2 wars with Spain in ships. Can't remember the name of it. Aid, can you re-jog my memory? But anyway, yeah, that is the era of Queen Elizabeth I. She was the Virgin Queen, supposedly, also. Anyway, as we're moving on, COVID-19 with Boris Johnson. COVID-19, Boris Johnson warns against mixing if Easter weekend begins. I know it's Easter weekend, we had the bank holiday weekend, everyone probably went a bit blasé with the overindulgence of gathering, more than likely. But, you know, if you're alive, you shouldn't be doing it, but if you're alive, you got through it, you can't turn back the clock. But, you know, you should be taking restrictions lightly, you know, shouldn't be taken lightly. People should not socialise indoors with other households, even if they are vaccinated, Boris Johnson said. As the Easter bank holiday weekend began, the PM said, we are not yet at the stage as coronavirus vaccines are not giving 100% protection. Police forces across England have also called for people to obey the rules over the bank holiday. It is the first weekend since England's rules were relaxed to allow outside gatherings of more than 2 people. With groups up to 6 or 2 households allowed to meet, councils and police forces are preparing for beauty spots and parks to be busy. I mean, my bubble is my mum and my dad and my brother. I don't go anywhere out of that bubble. Unless I'm going to the shops, but we all have to go to the shops to get by, don't we? Let's face it. But I will not put myself in such jeopardy of going to a party. I don't drink anyway, so. But despite unseasonable warm weather this week, the weekend is forecast to be mild before temperatures drop further from Sunday, with a warning of snow in Northern Ireland. Rules have also recently been relaxed in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, with people also allowed to meet outside in small groups. It must be hard for those who like to have a drink because your mind goes, you know, your mind goes on a wander, your mind goes on trotting on to think, what can I do next? I know what it's like, I've been there, I've had a drink in my younger years. I'm more mature and, you know, wise now. I wouldn't put myself in such a situation to make myself ill either. Thank you still for listening on YouTube. There's a video published on Twitter which answers questions about the rules that have changed. The Prime Minister addressed the question, can I meet family and friends indoors if they are vaccinated? I'm afraid the answer is no, because we're not yet at that stage, he said. We're still very much in a world where you can meet friends and family outdoors under the rule of 6 or 2 households. And even though your friends and family members may be vaccinated, vaccines are not giving 100% protection, and that's why we just need to be cautious. We don't think that we are entirely to reduce or remove the risk of transmission. He later tweeted, the Easter weekend, please remember that outdoors is generally much safer than indoors. More than 4.9 million people in the UK have now been fully vaccinated, even receiving both doses, while 31.3 million first doses have been given. The Pfizer said its vaccine prevented 91% of the coronavirus cases in the 6 months after people are given their second dose. Meanwhile, a recent study found a single dose of the Oxford AstraZeneca jab offered 76% protection for 3 months, and this went up to 82% after the second dose. Police warnings. Several police forces have also issued warnings ahead of the bank holiday. The Metropolitan Police said officers will be highly visible in open spaces in London to warn people in groups of more than 6 that they could be fined. After a long and difficult few months, let's not undo all the hard work now, said Deputy Assistant Commissioner Jane Connors. We can expect to see parks and beauty spots busier than usual, she said. Adding, don't crowd in open spaces and do follow the rule of 6. Only meet up with one other household. Other forces have said they will be patrolling parks and beaches, with Merseyside police planning to remind people that alcohol is banned at some beaches. Parliament is the absolute sovereignty of the whole land, so the police have to do what Parliament is putting past in a bill. So if the police are said to arrest people and fine them if they're in more than groups of six, the police will act accordingly because Parliament, again, is the absolute sovereignty of the whole land, the highest court of the whole land. Kill the bill. Let's talk about kill the bill protest. I mean, people going around protesting. You're like me to myself, what I think of protesting. I think if you're going to go to a protest with loads of people, you are just as bad as a terrorist with a backpack in this current climate. You know, you're not putting your life at risk because it's up to you. If you want to put your life at risk, no problem. But then you go home to your kids, your wife, or you go and see your sister who's got kids, your niece or your nephew. You are a terrorist. Why would you put yourself in that situation? And when the police, I mean, obviously I see that massive uproar about that. The police using level 2 force, which they're allowed because they're terrorists with backpacks. Like I said, they're allowed to use level 2 force on these protesters. They're thinking they're not doing anything wrong, but they're putting everyone's life at risk. Meeting in the centre of London, Liverpool, wherever they're doing it. Absolute monstrosity of humanities. Really are. You've got fickle people thinking it's okay. I've lost close members. Like my son, the families had COVID, and one of my ex-best friends has lost her father to COVID. You know how selfish are people going? You've got these innocent people dying, and you've got these stupidity people that should be dying of COVID. Jumping in a fire. If you jump in a fire, you can get burnt and possibly die. That's exactly what these people do in the protest. So don't be that idiot and think it's okay to go to protest. Is what I'm suggesting. Because innocent people are dying of COVID, and there's idiots like this are making it 10 times worse. Kill the bill protest. Defend the right to protest. Corbyn tells marchers. Jeremy Corbyn gets behind so many political stupidity things, it's unreal. Former Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn urged marchers to stand up for their right to protest. As protests against the police and crime bill were held around the UK, Kill the Bill demonstrations took place in London, Birmingham, Liverpool and Bristol, among other places. Mr Corbyn said the bill would prevent protests without police approval. Police said 26 people were arrested after a minority refused to leave after London protests. Speaking in Parliament Square in central London, Mr Corbyn invoked figures such as suffragettes and Nelson Mandela as he urged the crowd to oppose the bill. Stand up for your right to protest. Stand up for your right to have your voice heard, he said. Absolute. Why would he be leading them astray? What a monstrosity of a human being. He also said they stopped fox hunting on Christmas Day in 2019. That will never slip my mind when he said that. What a complete minstrel. I know he's a vegetarian, but the other 76 or 67 million people in the UK are eating turkey, lamb, beef, chicken at a Christmas table, and he's worried about save a fox. He is an absolute minstrel, the fella. Anyway, he said protests against the bill were sparked after police dispersed the crowd at the perfectly correct and proper vigil for Sarah Everard, who was killed as she walked home in South London. I want a society where it is safe to walk the streets, where you can speak out, you can demonstrate, and you don't have to seek the permission from the police or the Home Secretary to do so, he said. I mean, that Sarah Everard was an absolute tragic loss. Several women addressed the crowd and shared personal experience of abuse and being drugged. Protests carried anti-sexism placards and chanted, "Women scared everywhere. Police and government do not care," as they marched past Downing Street. The protests were prompted by the Police Crime Sentences and Courts Bill, which proposed to give police in England and Wales more power to impose conditions on non-violent protests, including those which are deemed too noisy or a nuisance. Anyone refusing to follow police directions about a protest could be fined to £2,500. Ministers and police have defended the proposal, saying they were needed to tackle demonstrations such as ones by Extinction Rebellion in 2019, where mass occupation of roads and bridges in London and elsewhere stretched police resources to the limit. Most of the crowd of several hundred people in London dispersed peacefully after the rally, but police said they were arrests after a small minority refused to leave. In Bristol, more than 1,000 people gathered for a peaceful protest. It's not a peaceful protest. 1,000 people gathered for a peaceful protest. 1,000 people allowed to meet in groups of 6 outside, but these are meeting in groups of 1,000, and they're calling it a peaceful protest. After demonstrations on the 23rd of March and the 26th of March ended in clashes with the police. Earlier, Kill the Bill protests had been taken under lockdown, but the latest demonstrations after the first since coronavirus rules and on outdoor gatherings were eased on Monday in the latest stage of the government's roadmap out of lockdown. Under the current rules, people can meet outdoors in groups of 6 or 2 households, but with extra provision to allow outdoor protests with more than 6 people, as long as organisers carry out a risk assessment and take all responsible steps to limit the spread of the virus. At the Bristol protest, about 100 demonstrations began marching again later in the evening. Avon and Somerset police said they forced police to briefly close part of the M32 motorway by sitting in the road. Hundreds of people also marched through Newcastle city centre and other places that saw protests of varying scales, including Birmingham, Liverpool, Newcastle, Bournemouth, Brighton, Weymouth and Luton. We've got one more, no, we've got 2 more segments to go through, I believe. No, we've got one more. No, 2 more important, really important. Then I'm going to get on to the rest in peace, everyone. Yes, absolutely, Anthony Alexander. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for all your kind comments, guys. If you haven't, all your listeners on YouTube, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate everyone coming through. Even if they could share it, I appreciate it so much as well. Of Conservative in Hatfield. I don't know what your party. I'm just happy that you're all here enjoying the show. Schools out. So Hatfield will be open for Easter holiday. Schools out for Easter holidays in Hertfordshire, and parents will be looking for somewhere to take kids. Everyone, no matter what constituency you are in the UK or in America or Canada, wherever you're from, schools out for somewhere to take kids during a break. Despite the slight lifting of lockdown restrictions taking effect from Monday, March 29, indoor attractions and zoos are still closed. You've got places like country parks or places with a river or reservoir where you can go for a nice picnic. Some places you can take, I don't know if you've got a canoe, maybe you want to take down the lake. They can't stop you taking your own canoe down the lake. Red and blue woodland walks at Hatfield Park to take you to Broadwater. Stately home posted on its Instagram page. So if you are looking to get outside and take your children on an outdoor adventure, book your advance ticket now. All tickets must be purchased in advance and numbers are capped each day to control visitor numbers and prevent overcrowding. I mean, I live right near a country park. What a great place to feed the ducks with kids. A lot of fishermen go over there as well. The Broadwater in Hatfield Park, Hertfordshire. That is all it says. It's a great place to take children. But anyway, the trials to begin the return of England mass events. Government or measures in England, including COVID passports to allow safe return of sports matches, events and nightclubs. Passes would show if a person has been vaccinated, had a recent negative test or natural immunity. Trial events in the coming months will also explore how ventilation and testing before and after could help audiences return. The pilots, which will include FA Cup final, will last until mid-May. But some of the listed events will not be trialling vaccination certification Council said. Sports Minister Nigel Huddleston said that any possible introduction of the COVID passports would be proportionate and time limited, and that the earlier pilots almost certainly won't involve any element of certification. He described the trials as a long learning experience and said the government would also be looking at mitigations such as one system and hygiene measures. Meanwhile, Downing Street has confirmed countries will be in a risk-based traffic light system when foreign holidays resume. The pilots include FA Cup semi-final and a final in London's Wembley Stadium, the World Snooker Championship in Sheffield, and mass participation run in the Hatfield House in Hertfordshire, and several events in Liverpool, including an evening at a nightclub, a business conference, and a cinema screening in the city. The FA Cup final will be using certification. The first pilot event will be a comedy night in Liverpool on the 16th of April, where audience members will be tested for COVID before and after the show. Professor Ian Buchan of the University of Liverpool will be helping to run testing for Liverpool-based trials, he told BBC Breakfast. Taking part would involve giving your consent to take part when you book a ticket, receiving text messages about hand, face, space, fresh air, minimising unnecessary contacts before the event, getting tested within 36 hours, ideally as close to the event as possible, ideally having a test earlier in the week. Professor Buchan added, don't go on the day if you have any symptoms. All the events will be in very well ventilated places, and the ventilation will be studied, and the people will be asked to minimise contacts and get another 5 tests. 5 days after, for the purpose of research. Newer trials, particularly Liverpool's nightclub pilot, was welcomed by the industry body, the Nighttime Institute Association. I don't think many people are going to be. I'm an old guy now, 37, mature bloke. I don't think the challenge of people going back to car. I think they're going to more have a stay in their own environment till everything opens up to be safe. I should imagine. They're so used to drinking at home anyway. Why not just have a party at home, make it safer for everyone? Anyway, let's get into this discussion. I wanted to get into. Let's get into this discussion. I'm going to get on my other screen. This is another application to do some network research, because not everyone will want to give their perspective on what they've been from. But this is really good for this another app I use. Probably what LBC use as well, I should imagine. Because I can just press a button, it'll drop me on anyone in the world, so we can regenerate their perspective. Oh, that's what I meant. This can be good, guys. I'm going to show you something. This app, it'll come out my speaker as well, so you're not clear. Just waiting for a message to come through. This will be great. Right, go live. So I'm on the. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, buddy. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, buddy?
Where you at, man? You alright? You okay, bro?
Yes, I'm in the UK. Where are you from?
London.
London, okay. I'm on a discussion. Let's change the topic, see if we can get a few people involved.
Yeah, what you want to talk about?
I'm going to change the topic and you'll see. Let's talk.
Alright.
2 seconds. I've got a few questions for you first. Have a bit of fun. There we go. Right. So, yeah, I'll give you a few questions. Deadbeat fathers. What's your perspective? What's your perspective on a deadbeat father? There. What's your name, buddy? So you're from London, yeah? Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm from Essex, but I used to travel up and down to London, so I know London pretty well. Yeah, there's,
My personal opinion on fucking that big father is that they have to fucking get their stuff together, put their stuff together, and fucking start taking responsibility.
yes, but you got to remember how did a deadbeat father become? If I mean if in that case I'm a deadbeat father, I'm trying to put myself, I'm doing everything I can. I mean, I'm an ex-professional boxer, split up with my ex-wife. I'm happy in myself. I was happy, as soon as I left, I was happy getting myself back on my feet. Got myself into through college, university. Um, yeah, I'm still at the end of the day. I mean, from what you're saying, I'm still a deadbeat father. So I was just trying to see what your perspective on a deadbeat father was. But I still, I tried to look after my kids the best of my knowledge when I was there. I still would if I was in my hands. What is a deadbeat father? That's what I need to know. Are you got have you got kids? Have you got kids? Have you got kids? You still with your girlfriend?
Yeah, we live together. Yeah, we live together in my house. I just got a new house not long ago, and
Oh, nice.
yeah, we live together. We're there with the kids, and yeah, everything is okay. Let's say.
Yeah, because it might be one day, buddy. You can never know. You could be in my shoes, and you do feel like. I mean, you do feel like a deadbeat father. As soon as you get kicked out, you're no longer in children's life. It's up to the mother whether to say you're a deadbeat father or not, and some mothers do. So it's easy for anyone to say. You see what I mean? If you're in that situation, it's easy for everyone to make the judgment. Yeah, he's deadbeat. It's even for the kids to say, "Dad's a deadbeat. He's not around anymore." But reality lies is what the women adjust for the father to do.
I understand, but that big father is a father that do not want to know and do not have the possibility to help his kids.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a that big father. I mean, I don't think that's your case.
Well, it is. I mean, I'm fighting for my kids in court. I mean, the chance I've got at the minute is very, very little. But yeah, I mean, in a sense, I could be a deadbeat father. To the kid. It's not. I'm not trying to. I'm not coming on here for people to pull me.
But what you wanna do? All right, but what you wanna do? You wanna take care of your child?
Uh,
You wanna be there for the kids
yeah,
or not?
absolutely. That's why I'm in court. That's why I took the ex-wife to court. So
Alright, so that's it. So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it. So you're not a that big father. So
No,
if
no,
you're
no.
attention,
I
that's
know.
good.
I know that. I used to support my kids. I used to professional box, so I used to try and support the kids to the best of my, like I say, the best of my knowledge, the best of what I could do. Money's not, like I say, giving kids money is not everything, but knowing the kids that you tried is everything. So.
Everything, my friend. Even if it's just a fucking, if it's just a stroke on the cheek, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
share
yeah,
ice cream and just hug your kid. That's enough, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And then obviously you have to give some little money because you don't live with them no more, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
sometimes you give something, but that's it. I mean, as long as you show interest, that unless the mother in some cases is a fucking cunt and she doesn't want to fucking know, she doesn't want to have you in her life, she doesn't want the kid to know you. In that case, it's not your fault, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah, I know.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. It's just is it. Yeah. I mean, I didn't come in here. I mean, I wasn't coming here fighting. I just wanted to know what everyone's perspective was.
Yeah, yeah. My
Yeah, yeah.
perspective is this one. I told you.
I'm alive.
I'm very straightforward guy, you know what I mean? I'm very old school, even
Yeah,
though I'm
yeah,
31, I'm very old school. So
yeah. I'm
I
37.
know the deal.
Yeah, I'm 37, buddy. So at least you're still mature age. Yeah, I'm live on YouTube as well. It's quite nice. I was waiting a big, quite trying to get a big debate, but I haven't been on this stereo app for a long time. I didn't think there'd be many listeners. 'Cause I haven't been on it for so long. How long you been on this application? How long you been on this application for?
Since it came out.
Oh, okay. You've been here
So
what?
not even long, how long is it? A year?
Yeah, something like I've been on it about a year roughly. I've got a friend on YouTube said a woman could give her child away and still be labelled as a deadbeat, and still isn't labelled as a deadbeat. Yeah, that's true. Actually, that is absolutely true because I'm not going to say. Yeah, someone just do you hear that? Someone said a woman could give her child away and still isn't labelled as a deadbeat. Yeah, a lot. Yeah, a woman won't get labelled as deadbeat because they're, or so they will. People make judgment of anyone, wouldn't they? But I mean, more on a woman's perspective, they won't because they're weak. They're weak and feeble. They don't seem to get judgment so bad as a man. A man will get. A man will.
Really, man.
Yeah.
They got the government behind them. They get
Yeah,
the
yeah.
house and the money from the government. And no one's gonna judge them.
Yeah. They get a bit more support, moral support, especially like when it comes to mental health and no disrespect. I've got a bit of a. Yeah. I mean,
Unless she's a drug addict, the kid stays with the mother. So most of the times people tend to look badly at the father.
yeah. I don't want to. Obviously, I support feminism, so I don't want to write women off. It's a reason why the women are quite supported. Because they are compared to a man. We're more masculine, aren't we? We're supposed to take the rough end of the stick and get on with it, but that's just that's the way it is. It's Queen's land, unfortunately, so I can't sit there and write women off. But yeah, they do get better end of us when it comes to housing and stuff. They get the better end of the stick. They're the mother, they have the children, they get a roof over their head before. If you get kicked out, you go homeless. You go in a homeless shelter. That's what happens.
Yeah, I understand. But it can also be a cultural thing, because
Yeah.
some countries, like for instance, this country, like UK, I mean Europe in general, or the Western world, it doesn't give so many rights to a father, So it's not. Sometimes fathers, we can find it difficult to come across and to have that position of power that we should have without question,
Yeah.
Without fucking questioning us, saying, giving us that fucking respect that we deserve just because,
Yeah.
Now that they're taking that away from us in England, especially here in the UK, where the male figure, the father figure, literally don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not. Sometimes it's not even your fault. It's the environment you're in. You know what I'm saying? It's the environment that you're in that kind of corrupts that father figure. Sometimes you'll find yourself with the best intentions, but it's just obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We need more. Like bring fathers for justice. We need more. Alienated fathers they need more physical support, don't they? They need more physical support in the way of in court. At least let them get the half of the contact order. Every other week. Only fathers don't get every other weekend. But I mean, in my situation, I should be seeing my kids every other weekend. No shadow of a doubt. I was in court the other day to write the first point of contact is writing a letter, which I've done. But it shouldn't be like it should be. Yeah, he's been a good dad the whole time the kid's been alive. He obviously had a bit of a last part of the year. We had a bit of a. I think we both wanted out. She had a bit of chemistry imbalance. Had our arguments like any relationship, and then we left. And now I've got to write a letter for point of contact. That's ridiculous. Where's the fair crack at the whip? Same as a woman, ain't it? That's what I mean. I'm not the only one in my situation. There's millions of blokes in my situation,
Oh yes, millions.
And this father's justice need to.
It's another thing as well, that fucking hell, then like there's problems that are created, but it's not your fault. Look, for instance, now when my woman got pregnant some time ago,
Yeah.
she got fucking maternity leave from her job, unlimited, alright?
Oh,
They only gave me a fucking week.
yeah, it's like you do. Men get weak and go straight back.
Alright? Right, a fucking week. So they don't recognize the father as fucking, you understand? Just let me be at home and fucking pay me anyway. No, they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that.
No, yes,
You know?
yeah.
So it's bad. It's bad. That's what I'm saying. You know, they don't make it easy for fathers. So you 1 week there, then you go, your woman is by herself, you know, then fucking, her mind fucking starts fucking up because she's by herself. Now there's problems, and now there's separations, and all this could be avoided if you just let me stay home.
Yeah. The International Bill of Rights, it says about the fair crack of equality. It's all about equality throughout humanity. Like you're saying, you feel that you get less maternity leave as to a woman does. And I know what their principle of it means. A woman take longer to recover because she's just given birth, and a man, she just, but the man wants to be there with his wife, helping her, doesn't he, while she's recovering. So, but I see your argument as well. It's like catch 22, isn't it? The woman needs longer because she needs to prepare, giving birth and bond with the baby. But at the same time, the father's missing out as well, isn't he? And you need to be there to support your wife or your girlfriend.
That's right.
Yeah, I see a lot of things happen. I think that what they're doing isn't really, it's contradicting themselves, like you're saying. They're saying international bill of rights. It's not international bill of rights. If you don't get a fair crack at the whip when it comes to our children, if you don't get a fair crack at the whip when it comes to your wife and paternity leave, you've got to have 1 week of work, go straight back. It's crazy old world, mate. Crazy. What do you do, buddy? You working? You're a student?
Yeah, no, I'm driving my truck right now.
Oh, yeah, you're a lorry driver.
Yeah, I mean Ivor. You know Ivor?
I heard of that. I heard that name.
It's not far from Dorking.
Dorking, yeah, I know Dorking. I think. Heard it. Yeah, I've heard of Dorking. Oh, nice.
I live in London, right? I live in North London, so.
Yeah. Do you know what? I was living just past North London. I was living in Hertfordshire. I was in Hatfield. I lived there for a year.
Alright, that's nice.
Yeah, it's not nice. Hatfield's a nice little area, isn't it? It's not bad. I'm back in it.
That's nice, man. That's not far. That's not far from where I work.
Yeah, I'm back in Essex now. Obviously with my family, but I was living there. It's quite a nice area. Yeah.
Essex is the land of pancakes.
Yeah, it's quite, it's a bit yeah, it's a bit lively up here. I don't drink. Don't really socialise much. My only socialising I do is on media. It's, yes, they're in Wettenden. I'm a nice gentleman. I'm not like them.
Crazy one, man. Dalton.
Yeah, I heard that they're one of them's coming out. I can't remember his name now. One of them's coming out of prison a little while ago. I was reading that in the Essex Live the other day.
Yeah. I know. I follow them.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
I'm
Yeah, man. No, yeah. I mean, talking about that topic, I mean, deadbeat fathers, you know what I mean? It's very controversial. It can be very complicated because
yeah.
most of the time, it's the mother, you know, that's like.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it's important it's important for me to air the conversation because, like, my kids in years to come, they might go, my dad. If I never get to see him, they might go, my dad's a deadbeat. He never fought for us, and they don't know, do they? They don't know what the father goes through. It's important for other people to hear because they might be in the same situation, but they think my dad never cared, he didn't fight for me. But it's not like you say. It's not about me sending money. It's not about sending money. It's about the constant fight, the love. That's the love that counts. It's not the money. I'm in a situation where I've got no money. I've got snowballing with debts and bills, but it's the love that the father can give. That's all that matters.
that's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, money. I think money does make the world go round. But if you're not in a situation to have money, how can you make you can't make your own world go round, let alone your kids. The one thing you can give is the love.
And that's when the mother has to understand that you don't have the financial ability to help out too much. But what she can do is just with the money you have, obviously the money you have, you spend it for yourself. And what she can do is let you see the child, you know what I mean, and you enjoy your life with the child when
Yeah.
you're together, you know what I mean. That's it.
Yeah.
But she takes care of it, you know.
Yeah.
But you're there anytime that the child wants you. You know what I'm saying? But that's the ideal. As a mother, have to understand that she's a human being.
Yeah.
And it's not like, okay, now I'm gonna fucking ask him for so much money, so I know he doesn't have it, so I'm gonna ask him. So I know he doesn't have it, so that way I have an excuse just to fucking block him, and he will never see the child again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's a pretty good bubble there, but you press that, that's what they gonna say. That's what they say. Oh, let's play now.
You hit the nail on the head because I broke up with my fiance 4 years ago about some bullshit that she did, and basically here in Florida, a mother automatically has custody noted. Otherwise, I had to fight to see my kids for 3 years. Finally, get to see them on Sundays, and yeah, so it depends on the woman too. They want you to pay, but they don't want you to see them. It's some people out there, some deadbeats, there are deadbeats out there that just walk away and don't want nothing to do with it. But I'm not that one. But yeah, you're right. It is a very controversial topic.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, man. Trust me. That's how it is, and that's what I'm saying. Sometimes the fathers are willing to have, are willing to be with the child, are willing to, but they don't. But the mothers just, they just see red. They just see red. They don't understand. They have no cap. There's no cap for them. They have no limits. They just fuck up everything. But if they would just for one moment think about the child, think about the kid, they will not act that way. You see. So the ones that act that way are just selfish.
Yeah. Oh, good signal. Maybe he's driving. He's lost signal. That's shame. No. Okay, still there, buddy. Lost signal in. Still there?
That's alright.
Oh,
That's
got you,
alright.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm here.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to try. At the same time, I don't want to put these women down because it happens a lot of. There's some really amazing mums that let their children go to the father. No matter what circumstances they went through, the children go to the father because it's cruel.
Of course. But that's only normal. That's when you love your kid. That's when you know what's right. If you know what's right, you do the right thing.
Yeah.
But that's the thing as well. We as fathers, we have to know what we put ourselves into.
Yeah.
We cannot just go with anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have to know who we're making kids with.
Yeah, I mean, you think the government make it? I mean, they keep saying they're gonna make it stricter in the family court. That they're gonna make a woman there's necessity. If she's not letting the father see the children, they got to make an necessity, and they got to make an example that she's a bad mother. They got to give her community service. They got to do something about it, don't they? They need to. They need to make it criminal justice. That woman has to let the father see the children. That's what they got to do. Otherwise, they get.
They have to.
Unless the father, if the father's being if the father's being a real deadbeat, going down the pub with his mates on a weekend or doing narcotics or something, then yeah, they've got an argument, haven't they? But when a father is trying to do everything he can to better himself, and then they're pointing a finger,
Man, let me tell you something. Yeah, my woman, yeah, she's Nigerian. Okay, she's Nigerian.
Yeah.
And I know her family. My family know I'm from Dominican Republic. Yeah, also I'm from the Caribbean, right? She's Nigerian. Okay, but we know. Okay, we know. If she tries anything like that, she's fucked up. You understand? We people, we don't fucking joke around. We will fucking go into that house and take that child. That doesn't
Yeah, usually Nigerians, you know, Nigerians.
Man, a lot of British men that I know, and it's a fact, a lot of them they opt to go with a foreign woman like the African or Indian because they're more submissive, but not because they're submissive because they have no rights, but because they know they're fucking played as a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're respectful. And I mean, I've been Nigerian gospel choir myself when I was in Hatfield, you know, and they all they seem respectful Nigerians, so you shouldn't have no problem.
Because they know the deal. They know they get their fucking leg broken if they fuck up. You know what I'm trying to say? Back in their country. So they're very careful with men. They're very careful. They don't fuck about.
Yeah,
They don't fuck about.
Yeah, shame not busy. We need more perspective from other women, don't we? So I want to hear their perspective of deadbeat as well. I know what women, what they call a deadbeat father. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
We need it's not an argument, it's a point of discussion, isn't it, where women, get some hostile women and think the hostile women think a deadbeat father is just a father that don't put money on the table. Or some fathers ain't got money, so how's that deadbeat,
Yeah, some of them they got money and they're the worst fathers, man. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They're worse, some of them.
I've got about
That. It's about the attitude. It's about the attitude. Doesn't matter what the woman thinks, you know. If you know what's good, I mean, God. If you believe in God, then God knows that you're doing the right thing. If you don't believe in God, you know you're doing the right thing, and that's enough. You know what I'm saying? And the child one day he will realize who you really are. You know what I'm saying? But the child will grow up and he will see that you're not that bad after all. You know what I'm saying? So it's the mother. She's thinking her own shit. She's digging her own fucking grave, man. She's shooting herself in the foot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, man. What else can we touch on? What else can we touch on? And
Bro, I'm crazy, I told you I'm crazy. You can talk about anything. You told you I'm crazy, man. You can see I'm full on, man. I go to 0 to 100 is nothing.
So I think relationships where relationships break down and you don't acknowledge it. You don't acknowledge it, then some people don't acknowledge a broken down relationship. They try and hang on, don't they, for the sake of children, Sometimes it's just easier. Sometimes it's better to walk and then try and. Sometimes better just to walk and then sort the situation out with kids after, isn't it? But like you say, if a woman then goes around, he's this, he's that, it's hard for a man then to get back on his feet, or vice versa, a woman even.
Alright, wait. 1 second, brother. Yeah, give me 1 second. I put up these clients.
I just thought I'd give that a little bit at the end of the show. Thanks everyone on YouTube. Appreciate you all listeners. If you can help share the show, trying to build I'm not trying to build a show out, but you out them little discussions. It's nice to know other people's perspective, isn't it? There you go. We're going to leave that there. I think a nice hour and 10-minute show. I was going to carry on and see how we go. Are you new to the app? I'll help you out, Groovy. No problem. Thank you everyone, Cast Box. That was a great last 20 minutes of the show.